that was a rough one as the New Jersey Devils lose 5-1 to the Los Angeles Kings on a afternoon game here on Sunday. Hopefully that didn't ruin the rest of your day. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We started off fantastically as Timo Meyer opened up with the first shot of the game. What was it, like, whatever, less than 30 seconds into it? 1-0 Devils, which we are not used to. And that was about the end of the happiness and really the good stuff for the entirety of the rest of this game. Now, don't get me wrong, we didn't get absolutely beat in. We weren't completely outplayed by any means. But really, as far as like crazy strong chances goes, we didn't have many. But to be honest, neither did the Kings really outside of one of the goals they did, or one of the chances they did score on. But well, we scored first in the game, right? But we didn't win it. So the Timo play was pretty great. Right off the bat, they get in on the forecheck. They create a turnover. There was kind of a weird bounce off of the boards, but it lands right to Nico. Great pass by Nico to Timo. Timo gets that weird backhander, not super strong shot, but weird enough to fool the goalie shot off. And it's 1-0. And I was feeling great at that moment. We're on the power play, which looked pretty good even if it didn't score. And then we had other power plays that looked all right, but didn't score. And that was really it. Yeah. I wouldn't have started Dawes in this one. We did. I probably would have pulled him earlier. We didn't. The first goal, it was a breakaway. I really don't get on goalies too bad on breakaway goals at all. You want to save a couple of them occasionally. It feels like every single breakaway is a goal against for us. But, if that's the only goal, heck, there's another goal in here I didn't really hate too much either. If it's only 2 goals, it's not so bad. But there's 2 goals against in this one that I despised. And this first one was savable. But again, breakaway goals, I'm not going to rip a goalie on too bad. It was a weird play where we basically were 5v4 in the Kings zone. Their 5th guy comes on late. I couldn't really tell why or what the reason was there, but he gets behind the defense. Is that on Luke or for not being back to play against that? Maybe rookie mistake, but he's a rookie. I'm not gonna really get on Luke too much either because that kid's gonna be a superstar in this league for years and years to come. So is that one you're gonna give up occasionally with the rookie defenseman? Sure. Is that one you're gonna give up occasionally with the basically rookie goalie? Sure. But it's when it's an all season long thing, it does weigh on you a bit eventually. Well, that wasn't the only downfall of the period, as the Kings did score a second time to take the lead, and they never relinquished that lead for the rest of the game. As not Lafreniere, Laferriere, I believe is how it's pronounced, the Jersey boy, scores to make it 2-1 off of your goalie has to have that. He has to. I think he got a piece of it with the blocker side from the top of the circle. It wasn't super screened. It wasn't a crazy cross ice dish on a one-timer. It wasn't a broken play off of a weird bounce. It was just a decent pass to a guy that let it rip. And it's not like he picked top cheese and absolutely snipe ripped it or anything. He was close enough to make that save, and it's a save you have to have as an NHL goalie. Sometimes, but it feels like, again, none of the times for the Devils goalies for this season. That was a real stinker. I really felt like that goal took a lot, kind of deflated the team a bit there. That's not an excuse. The team should not get deflated. They got to come out and play regardless of the goalies making saves or not. But I've kind of been talking about this for 3 seasons now, where it feels like rough system is very good for the skaters. But if you have a goalie that's not saving high danger chances, you're not doing them any favors with this system. And when you do give up those occasional high danger chances, which happens in every game for every team pretty much, and they go in every single time, that weighs on a team. And maybe they're not going to look for the outlet pass as much or play with that offensive mind because they are all thinking in the back of their head, I can't make a single mistake or this puck's in the back of my net. And that weighs on your game a lot, especially over an entire season. But that's not where it ended, as 2 more did get past Dawes. The third goal, you could probably put mostly on Toffoli. Maybe you should, but Dawes lost his net. I mean, it was a terrible pass decision by Toffoli for the breakaway give up. He almost recovers and catches up. Basically did. I would say he did recover, but then he completely flubs the hitting the puck either behind the net or to the boards, leaving it in the middle and relinquishing the puck back to the Kings. Then Dawes completely loses his net, over committing to the King on that side that was covered, leaving the net wide open for the, pass to one of a number of Kings that could have ended up there. And it's a tap in goal. You could even argue maybe Jack Hughes needed to pedal to the metal back a little bit to be on top of Denault there to prevent the shot from even making it. There's a lot of small little critiques you can make there. The biggest thing is definitely Toffoli. He takes the bulk of the blame there for the terrible pass and then terrible defense in front of the net. There's also some blame on Dawes for losing the net there. It's just overall that's one of the worst goals we've given up in this season, and we've given up some pretty bad ones. Then we gave up the fourth goal on the power play. Honestly, I didn't even hate that one that much. Pretty good passing by the Kings, and it's just an absolute snipe rip of a shot. If you give up that very first goal and just that power play goal, yes, we maybe arguably would still lose 2-1, but I don't think you're as deflated. I think the boys come out harder. You pull the goalie a little bit later in the game. Just vibes are a bit different. Maybe you tie it up, but we did only score one. That's not great either, right? But that second and third goals were awful. Awful stuff. I can live with the power play goal against. I can live with the breakaway goal. But when you add it all together, it's bad vibes. I'll throw this in here. I've heard little birdies or however you want to put it. It's possibly Ruff's last game as Devils head coach. Green will take over, maybe not. We'll see exactly how that plays out. Sometimes you hear stuff that doesn't actually come to fruition, but it would not surprise me if at this point Ruff is let go. Just let the boys hear a different voice in the room, because that seems inevitable heading into next season anyway. So it's just, when do you do that? I don't think this is all on Ruff. I do think his system is to blame, that it does give up high danger chances. But if you have a goalie like Markstrom that can make those saves, it covers up that hole in your system and allows the boys to fly out there offensively and really do what this team is built to do. But when you have the goaltending situation that we have, it's hard to run this system out there. And I guess, Ruff is stuck in the ways of wanting to run this because he thinks it's what's best for the skater group. I don't even necessarily disagree, but you have to change it for the goalie situation. And it seems like he did that for a while, but it wasn't quite enough. We're not out of it yet, but it is a difficult road to get back there, especially given our schedule that is left to be played. I could go line by line here. I don't really feel like it. Nico Timo line, Brat line started off really strong. I thought Jack had his chances. The third line still doesn't impress. McDermott, I don't feel like did a single thing. The fourth line was basically ghost outside of Holtz occasionally either getting a shot blocked or putting it into the goalie's crest. The defense, Luke had some breakdowns. Nemec continues to be phenomenal. The rest of the defense was whatever. Again, I think it was just the one break. It was a single breakaway, right? A awful goal against by Dawes. That second one is on him. I'm not blaming a single skater on that one. Toffoli, a little bit of Dawes. I would even throw a little bit of criticism at Jack if you want. Power play goal that I didn't even hate. It was a beautiful shot. Rip. Snipe. You're not going to save everything, right? And then empty netter, which you guys know I don't care. Would have liked to seen some more offense. We had our chances. Early in the second, Timo had the no glove pass to Nico, which I thought was a phenomenal chance. Talbot makes the save. And, you say Talbot has a great game. He gave up the first goal in his very first shot, which, we criticized the Devils goals for. But when you make the rest of the saves the rest of the game, it doesn't matter. Thing is our goalies haven't been making those rest of the saves. And, I don't feel like we had any crazy high danger chances that the goalie had to make a diving, ridiculous acrobatic save and robbed us completely. But we had chances. Just none of them were super crazy. But again, I don't think the Kings had any super crazy one either, except for the one breakaway, which did go in. The second goal definitely wasn't super crazy. The third goal is a tap in because of the absolute just misplays across the board. And then the fourth goal, power play and empty nets and whatever. So, stinks. It does stink. But I'm going to stay and continue watching our game. I'm going to stay optimistic. We are still in it. We can still go on win streaks. I've heard, maybe Markstrom deal still does happen, if not until the off season. But If it's not until the off season, then you're getting what is it? Even year. Markstrom does this thing where he does super amazing one year and then not so great the next year and then super amazing the next. So we would have had him for this amazing year, a bit of a down year next year he would have lived with, but then finished off his contract with another amazing year would have been great. But if you're not getting him in the all season, you're getting the down year and then only one up year. I know that's not actually how it works. It's just a weird coincidence, but yeah, I don't know, guys. It is a tough hill to climb out there. It's not going to be easy if they are going to make any sort of run here, but they're not going to do it without goaltending. I'll tell you that. And so that's where I'm going to leave it. But as always and forever, let's go Devils.